Hello and welcome back to Let's Go Sailing. In this episode we're going to be going over the rigging and how it's all set up on the boat because we're going on the first sail pretty soon. That'll probably be the episode after this, so subscribe if you haven't already and let's get cracking. Now on Meraki I've fitted these tracks, you might have seen it in the last episode. These are run up for the jib on the front and adjustable for different points of sail and stuff, so that'd be dead handy, both the same on the same side. This is 25mm Barton track. You can see Barton there. I like them, pretty budget marine kind of stuff, and it's really good quality, really solid, and hopefully it does me well. But effectively I'll have a line running to the jib running through here, and then from there on this side it'll run up to this winch here, this cheapo winch that I got. It's not amazing. I want to get new ones because so they feed nice, and self-tailing will be a bit over the top, but these are a little they're not as grippy. They've lost their stuff, but I mean they're all right for the first sail. And then I've also got these cleats at the back. I want to get cam cleats or something, but for now that'll do. And yeah, so that'll run out over the side and then flick across, and I've got a winch handle, so if I need to I can use that, or it'll just be a pull kind of thing, and that'll run up for that side. And then on the other side, if I show you what the other side looks like, I'll have to stand up a little bit here, but you would have seen this in the last episode. You would have seen we've got the same cleat and winch, but because the winch turns the same way, I've had to put this block here so that when it runs up, it runs back and feeds the right way round onto that winch up there, because otherwise, you know, well, you don't want it rubbing on the deck, because otherwise you're trying to go up over that edge on the side, and then round the other side, and you're just going to wear through the fiberglass and go on that. So for now that's all right until I get a slightly bigger winch so it fits over. And yeah, so that's pretty much the setup for the front jib. And then inside the boat I've fitted a, I don't know if you can see that, but I've fitted a track. So that track's the same Barton, that's for the main sheet. And on these boats at the back they used to have a bar that runs across that you can actually attach the main sheet, but whoever had this before has converted it and put a track there. But then I replaced that old track with a new track, and I kind of like the position there because when you're standing in the back of the cockpit and you've got the boom, which probably finishes about in line somewhere about here, you've got the ropes running down. Yes, it's in the way of the companionway, but when you're standing at the back of the boat and you've got the tiller control there, it's actually really nice not having the rope behind you. Really handy for someone tall like me, so I can literally stand up and it just passes in front of me as I'm standing at the back. And because the controls are forward, it's really handy, because with the tiller on the back, imagine you're sailing along, you can get all that stuff tangled up, and, like, the rope's a mess. So if it's up front, it's all separated, and then you've just got your three lines in the boat. You've got your jib, and then your main sheet. And then also you've seen the old sail that we're going to use, and that thing's diabolical. Alright, look at this bad boy. This is the original mainsail off of the Vasti Meraki, and somewhere you can see, like, this is like ancient, like, look at it. This must be original. Like, there isn't even markings on it to say when it was made, but I mean, it's got the original logo there, and the sail number is 45. So if you see me out in the water, V45, that's me. But yeah, this thing's had it, and also I'll show you when I put it up for a test. You can see how it balloons. So it's like ridiculous. Like you pull it up and it like balloons right around the bottom. It's almost like a hammock at the bottom of the sail, which is not very efficient and completely useless. So I will be getting brand new sails. I'll be able to make my measurements and get all that stuff, but that'll be for the next season. because this is, I'm only going to sail once this season, just to test the waters pretty much, literally. And we'll get it in the water, test out this is, see how it fits, how it sails, see if I like the boom furling, and if I want to keep it or convert to stab, because that'll also inform me when I get new sails. We've also got an old jib off of Masumi, my old boat, which we got oversized for that boat, but it's small on this boat, but we'll use that. It's a white sail, so it look a little bit odd, but I mean, it's a pretty good sail, and it's hank on. Pull it up and see how that works. I do plan on going to a furling system. That'd probably be next season. So I've still got a lot of boat work to do, but just for a test, we'll get that one on. It did come with a jib of this same fashion and the same browny orangey colour. It's in slightly better condition in the main, but I want to get new ones. If I'm getting a new main, I want to get a new jib as well, and if I'm getting a furling system, I need it to work with it. Right, just pulled out the jib, and you can see very weird hank on, so it's not like the little pull back clip on ones. These ones you push and then twist in around the stay. So I don't know if I like it more or less. You can do it one-handed, but then again, it's a little bit more tricky. But yeah, same kind of thing, pretty much the same condition. And yeah, I went to the boat store and got a bunch of ropes and bits and bobs like that, so I can actually go sailing, because I'm not using any of the ropes on this boat. I'm just going to get the new ones now, and then I'll size them up for what I'm going to need for when I have the new sails, and I'll make do with it for these ones, because they won't be much different in the size. We've already got the main sheets and the pulley blocks and everything, so yeah. I'm not going to be running a boom vang, kicker, whatever you want to call it. Well, we're not going to use that for the first sail, because, well, one, I want to get out sailing, and two, I want to figure out if this setup's going to work, whether I'm going to do the boom rolling or whether I'm going to convert it to slab reefing, because this boat has the boom furling, so it's got a handle on the front of the mast. You turn and then it just follows the boom up, and then you can reef it. Unlimited reefing pretty much, which is handy, but will it be tricky? And I know the end fitting doesn't work, so for now I will be putting on a temporary fitting and then just having to undo that every single time I want to roll it down, which is not ideal. But for the first sail, I'm going to pick perfect weather, because I don't want to test it out in some rubbish weather, and I don't really want to go sailing in rubbish weather. Now, I've also replaced all of the shrouds, wire stays, whatever you want to call them. They were 3mm on this, and I've gone up to I think it was a 4 I went up to, so they're all replaced with a 4. Can't really go much bigger, because at the top of the mast, there's you wouldn't have enough room to bend it round, because the way it's done is like a pin going through the mast, and it's got a soft loop, and then that's the crimp round. You can't even have like a thimble in there to, you know, stop it from wearing away, but I mean, that's how it was before, and it shouldn't be too much wearing because it's not moving. And then we've done the thimbles down at the ends, down to the turnbuckles. So we've got 1 mount, 2 and 3, and then a baby stay, and then the front stay, and then the split rear that goes up to the mast. And I'll show you that when it's up, but I mean, it's quite a pain to get up. I used the main sheet pulley system, attached that to the front where the anchor line is. You can see here, I should attach it onto there, and then I've also got a spare hole to attach the forestay when I lift it up, so that's quite handy. And then yeah, we'll just put up with the main sheet. We've got our brace at the back, which you can see, that's the brace, and then I would shuffle that forward, get it up as high as you can. Now you've also got the problem with the level of the rope, pulling it up, so I've got to give it a hand up high enough so that the pulley can actually have an effect on lifting this up. But I'm going to perfect this system as time goes on, so hopefully it'll get easier. But I have done it single-handed before. It was not a fun experience, but I've got some ideas that might make it easier. Now down here in my drawer of random old boat bits, we've got the old Tufnell winches. One of them actually turns the opposite way, like I showed. It was a right pain to get out, and it's past its sell-by date, and I think one of them's really damaged, so I mean, it still works kind of, but I thought I'd upgrade a little bit, or for the time being have that. I might upgrade those other winches, but those are Tufnell. And then we had a few other Tufnell fittings. We had like this little baby winch, which still works. Might be quite effective. And then we also had a couple of these fitted to the deck, because I think they also had a little tiny jib, like a storm jib for the baby stay. That was Hancon, but I'll replace them. And then this is the old main sheet track that they had. Nothing wrong with it, but I thought I'd replace it while I was at it, because this does not look as sturdy, and it's like one of the screw-in types, so it's not just a click in. So that'd be a little bit tricky when you're sailing along trying to get that in, whereas you can just pop it in with the other one. Now, I did install the mast compression post, quite beefy, and I also picked up a mantis anchor. I'll probably do an episode on that at some point. And I also picked up the relevant rode with about 5 meters of chain and some mooring lines. And then I decided I would give my outboard a service, because the last time it was serviced was about a season and a half ago, but it was very lightly used. So I did the gearbox oil, and that looked pretty good, not too bad. And then I also did the engine oil, because it's a 4-stroke, and that just looked like normal, no flakes, no nothing. And then I also did the spark plug, because that needed doing, as they all do. And then gave it once over, changed the fuel filter, and buttoned her back up. I did go on to test out the rigging and take down the mast and get that loaded up, and a couple of late nights as well thrown in, like back in the old days when I was working on Masumi. But got packed up, ready for the week away with Sam for the first test sail of her, so that should be good. Right, so that's it for this episode. Pretty much, I think maybe a week or two away, I'm going to actually go sailing. You're going to see this next week, obviously, in the next week's episode being posted. I'm posting mostly on Sundays if I can, so check that out, subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. And how's she going to sail? Because this is probably the biggest boat that I've sailed now, like me being captain obviously, and I'm assuming it's a pretty fast boat. We topped out at 7 knots, but the mast fell off. I'll put a link for that episode, that's pretty entertaining. But she normally cruised at about 4 knots, like 4 knots would be pretty good cruising along. 5 is like, if it was like, whoa, like perfect. But I mean, hopefully this boat can go a little bit faster, because that'd be really handy, a little bit more efficient as well. And hopefully a little less rolly and heely. She's got a lot more ballast to her, and in the stats video I showed like how she compared to Masumi. So hopefully we can get on the water and looking good. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll see you guys next time.